guys, welcome back to another episode of Not Afraid to Garden. Today I just wanted to actually feature on one plant, only because, again, it's gorgeous. I love this plant. This is actually my
Ctenanthe Lubbersiana.
and it does belong in the Maranta family. So as you guys can see, its growing pattern, it grows just like the Marantas, what they call the prayer plants, which they grow off different nodes, you know, one leaf here and there, and that's the pattern that it grows. But then in the evening, they kind of close in this way, so the leaves kind of fold in. So I fell in love with this plant, and I got this a couple of weeks ago. Now, ever since I brought it home, I've gotten quite a bit of new leaves. And the reason I fell in love with it was the variegation that it has on here. Look at the colors on these leaves, and every leaf is individual. So every leaf, nothing is identical. So you're going to get different variegation on different leaves. So there are some that there's no variegation at all. But then there are some that shows, you know, again, so much variegation that it has on there. A couple of different colors on there. So again, this plant has been growing. So in the spring and summer, which is their growing season, when they grow the most, so this is when the plant like really kind of takes off. But it also depends on where you're placing this plant. So this plant thrives most near a window, but make sure that the light is not hitting it directly, because it will burn the leaves, definitely. So try to have it in maybe 2 or 3 feet in from the window, so that way it can just grab that light, just not direct but indirect light. It also likes that soil to sorry guys, my picture video, hold on. All right, so maybe. All right. Let's turn it off for now. Actually, let me put a little bit more light in here. So the soil on this plant, it does like to have the soil sort of a little moist. It doesn't like to go dry at all, so don't let it go dry at all. And you can water it every other day. Now, if it's outside spring and summer, you want to water it every day. But make sure that that water is running through the soil, and then you're capturing that excess water underneath. Don't let it sit there, because it will end up with root rot, just like Marantas are known for that if you leave that water sitting there. So make sure that water is draining. Now, this plant likes temperature maybe within the 70 to 85 degrees. So if you have your environment, you know, set on that temperature, it's going to thrive and it's going to do wonderful. It likes up to 60% humidity. So just try to make sure, maybe if you can't get that much humidity, maybe get a mister or humidifier that will be able to get you some of that humidity in the room, because it does need it. Sometimes these plants, what I don't like about them sometimes is they tend to grow and get kind of leggy. So you could actually change that, because then you can kind of trim it. So trimming it is basically just, you know, again, underneath a node, snip it, and snip a couple of leaves. You can bring it down, you know, maybe cut something off like this underneath here, underneath that node. So that way it will start coming in a little bit more fuller. So it does tend to get a little bit leggy. But again, I cleaned the leaves the other day, only because, again, if you don't clean the leaves, sometimes it just, that gloss, you don't get to see that gloss. But that's why they look so shiny now. They're so nice and clean. So and then they do go dormant. So in the winter, if you're thinking about fertilizing them, maybe do that in the fall, and then they kind of pretty much sit you know, not doing much throughout the winter. You can't keep this outside because it will die if you're not somewhere tropical. So make sure that you have it in a flower pot and you can bring it right back in again, so that way you can keep it in the house. It does get pretty big, and I've seen these huge. So again, with a lot of these plants, just make sure that you guys, you have your space to be able to grow a lot of these large plants, because again, they're going to grow, you know, and you have to make sure that you have that space. If you're going to repot, make sure that when you're going to repot them, repot 2 pots larger when you move on to the next pot, when you're growing them. So it looks like I'm going to be able to keep it here maybe for another, I don't know, maybe another 2 months probably, and maybe late summer, or maybe, I don't know. I kind of hate to repot it in the summertime because that's when they're growing. So I may just wait for the fall and then fertilize it at that time and just do that. But as you guys can see, again, it's growing pretty quick. It's a very quick grower. So so it's a wonderful plant to definitely have in your collection. So again, it's a variegated
Ctenanthe, Lubbersiana.
and again in the prayer family. So so this is it, guys, and it's a short video because I am prepping for a trip. So I'm going to be heading out to St. Thomas for a couple of days with my sisters. So I'm trying to get everything ready. So next week I may not have a video. Most likely I will not. I will be in St. Thomas. But when I come back, I'll be able to put another video together. I'm going to check out a lot of their plants. It is a tropical island. I'm planning on visiting a botanical garden there. So I'm hoping that I can bring some of those orchids back with me. So we'll see how that goes. So hope you guys definitely enjoyed this weekend, and I will see you guys next week, if not the following. So have a good one. Peace.